guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, and today is the start of another reading vlog. So this is the week of YALC. It's very exciting. Today is Monday, so we have a little bit of time to go until YALC, and I'm like so super excited about it. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be a really, really great time. You can tell by the way I'm like swiveling in my chair that I'm really excited about YALC. So it is Monday, as I say, so we've got a little bit of time, and I am going to be very busy with work because it's just like a busy particular time. I work in the production department at an academic publisher, so I'm the one who makes Microsoft Word documents into books, basically, and it's just a busy time of year because we're getting a lot of our stuff for kind of the end of the year in now, and so it's gonna be really busy, and before I know it I'm gonna be winging my way to London on Thursday. So I'm not too worried about like the week dragging before I can get to YALC. I think it's gonna go by pretty quickly, but I do have a lot of stuff that I really want to read before YALC because I keep getting all this amazing stuff in. And there's so many amazing books coming out, and not all of them are YA, and when I come back from YALC, obviously I am like fully in YA mode. I'm super excited for YA, so I'm a little bit worried that like I've got all this stuff on my TBR and I'm not gonna want to read any of it as soon as Monday rolls around because I'm just gonna be super like YA crazy. So I'm doing my best to read as much as I can this week before I head over, but my main read, which I kind of like flailed around before, I think, is All the Bad Apples by Moira Fowley-Doyle. This is a young adult book. It's a kind of like contemporary magical realism-y kind of spooky book, and it's really good. It is really dark. So this is an early copy. This comes out on the 1st of August, and I'm exactly 200 pages in, and it's really good, but guys, it's really dark. It kind of uses the story as a way to investigate kind of the way that Ireland has treated women in the past, with the mother and baby houses and with abortion and all of this. And our main character is gay, and she kind of accidentally comes out to her sister and unintentionally her very strict religious father on her birthday. And it's a really good book, but like it's really dark. It's really, really dark. And when I finish it, I think I might do a full video review of this because I feel like her books are vastly underrated on BookTube, and I feel like y'all would love her stuff. So I've read Spellbook of the Lost and Found, which is her second book, and I have The Accident Season somewhere on the shelf, which I actually bought at my very first YALC that I went to, which I've not read yet. And it's excellent. It's really good, and I'm going to be meeting her on Thursday for the Penguin YA Summer Party. Hopefully I can get some footage of that. So I want to have this done. I'm probably going to finish this tonight, I'm not going to lie. And then after that, I'm going to be reading Jade War. I'm very excited for Jade War. It's a big book. It is almost 600 pages long, 584 pages, but it's gonna be one that I fly through. I have a feeling this is gonna be a good way to like detach from YALC, because if I can get All the Bad Apples done tonight or tomorrow, then I'll have a couple of days to kind of like get into the story, and then by the time the weekend comes around, I'm gonna be needing some detachment time. So this is going to be perfect. This is of course the sequel to Jade City, which I've yelled about a lot on this channel. I have had some really exciting book post NetGalley news, I guess. So I won a Twitter competition for The Black Hawks, and this is by David Rang. This looks super fun. I mean, it's obviously like channeling Kings of the Wild, which is a book I absolutely love. And I won this in a Twitter contest. It comes out from Harper Voyager on the 3rd of October, I believe. I won this, I believe, from the author's literary agent. There's a note that came with this. I just tore it open because I was super excited. But it comes out in October. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be on my September TBR probably. And speaking of September, I managed to get my paws on a NetGalley copy of A Little Hatred by Joe Abercrombie, which I'm super pumped to read. I still have to read The Heroes and I have to read Red Country before September rolls around, but I'm really happy that I have his next book in my hands, kind of. So I'm really, really excited about that because Joe Abercrombie is one of my favorite authors. There's a lot of really embarrassing photos of me on the internet like freaking out about Joe Abercrombie. There was an event there's a video, it's a long story. But the other really exciting thing that I have is I was sent a exclusive NetGalley copy of Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky, who wrote Perks of Being a Wallflower, and that's not a book that I read when I was a teen. I read Perks of Being a Wallflower for like a book club, I think when I was 22 or 23 maybe, so I enjoyed it but didn't have that kind of resonance with me. And his new book, which is his first book in like 20 years, is this book called Imaginary Friend, which looks very creepy, and it's horror, and it's about, I think all I know about it is that it's a boy who's looking up at the sky and seeing the shapes in the clouds, and he sees a face form. This face starts speaking to him. It sounds really creepy, and I'm very happy to be reading that. I think that comes out in October as well. And so yeah, my plate's really full with book stuff. Tonight I'm going to do some editing, some video editing. I posted my YALC video that I did with my friend Josie, which is really good fun. It's kind of a departure from both of our normal videos. Usually it's just us talking to you guys, but it was us chatting with each other, and that was all about YALC and trying to give people some tips because it's a really intimidating event. I realized in all of my excitement that I've not actually explained what YALC is. YALC is, think like our YAL West, or think like, oh, what's the one that's in Charleston? Like one of those really kind of big, not industry run, but kind of like a convention type thing, but it's for young adult books, and it is held as part of Comic-Con in the last weekend of July every year, and it is really good fun. I call it YA Christmas. It's kind of like our biggest version of one of these events in the UK, and it's always really fun. It's just gonna be such a good time. So this will be my third time going, and as I talk about in this video with Josie, I've had like a different goal each year. So the first year I just wanted to like go and see what it was all about. The second year I wanted a buttload of books signed, and this year I just want to go and see people. So I would say come say hi to me if you see me at YALC, but this is going up after YALC, so it's gonna be kind of pointless. So I hope you did if you saw me there. But it's just gonna be a really good time. They do a lot of sales on books. You can get discounted books from publishers. They have a full Waterstone stand there where you can get the books for the authors who are featured at YALC, and they're also going to be doing some proof drops. I am like particularly excited because Hotterscape has said that they are bringing copies of Record of a Space Point of View, oh my god, To Be Taught If Fortunate, which is the new Becky Chambers book, which I will probably burst into tears if I get my hands on. I am like, yeah, I know it's coming out in like 2 weeks, and I have a pre-ordered copy of it, but I'm still like, I just want to read this book, and if I do get my hands on it, it's going to go straight onto my Newts TBR, and it's going to be my under 300 page book. I'm so excited about that. So, enough YALC talk. I've been yammering on for a really long time. I am going to read my book, I'm going to do some video editing, I'm going to like charge up my spare chargers and stuff and start getting packed, but I'm going to do that very kind of slowly because I just want to like relax. It's been a long day. I've lost my debit card. I had dinner with a friend. I had a really crazy day at work. It's been hectic. So I'm just going to relax. I'm going to read my book. So it's Tuesday and we are all suffering because it is fucking hot today. It's like 33 degrees in the UK, which is outrageous. It is so hot. And as I feel like I always need to remind people whenever I talk about British weather, I was literally born and raised in a desert. I grew up in Los Angeles. It's fucking hot in the UK. I don't want to hear anyone saying that we're wimps, because we are wimps, but with good reason. So it has been a pretty good day. Last night I finished, where is it? I finished All the Bad Apples by Moira Valley Doyle. It's a very bleak book, shall we say, without me swearing anymore. It is very, very bleak, and it was excellent. It was really good. I am going to probably end up giving this about 4.5 out of 5 stars. I have stopped giving books Goodreads ratings as soon as I finish them because I find that I'm often affected by the ending. So I've had books that go from like 4.5 to 4 stars, or even from 3 stars to 1 star, as happened this month. I haven't posted that review yet, but it's kind of an unpopular opinion. But I have decided that I'm not gonna post my star review because I really haven't made up my mind yet. So this is probably gonna get a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's basically a history of how Ireland has treated women up until even as recent as the 90s. The last, I think it's Mother and Baby Home in Ireland closed in like 1999, which is shocking. So this book is all about how Ireland has treated its women, but framed as this girl investigating her family tree and sort of what has happened to the women in her family. It's so good. But don't read it when you're happy, because it's gonna kill your mood. So this was excellent. I would highly recommend this, and I would really recommend her other books as well. I still have to read The Accident Season, which I might pull off of my TBR shelf and throw that into a monthly TBR here coming up, because her writing is just so good. I really, really like her. The cats have followed me into the room and are like being so incredibly silly. I don't know if you can see them or not. This is probably not working out great, but look at them. They just like, they follow me around all day. Scottish husband has been asleep because he got the cold that I had, sorry. And so the cats have been like following me around, even though the air conditioning in the other room is on, and they've just been like sprawled out on their backs, waving their feet in the air, so hot, and they just won't like go where it's actually cool. I don't understand. You can see Dax is sniffing my pile of stuff that I'm going to bring to YALC, which I'll talk about in a second. Right, after that brief interlude, because I finished All the Bad Apples yesterday, I did pick up Jade War. I'm on page 11 of Jade War. This is gonna be a really interesting transition because I read Jade City via audiobook, and I've never done this before where I have read an audiobook and then listened to an audiobook and then read the sequel, I should say. Usually I stick with one format for the entire series. So this is going to be really interesting. I don't know what I'm going to think of it as an actual book, but I can say the 11 pages that I have read have been very engrossing. So this is the one that's going to come with me to YALC. I'm probably not going to finish it this week, but it's going to be a good one to kind of like, as I think I said yesterday, I feel like I'm always forgetting what I've said in previous entries, but I think I said yesterday it's going to be a good escape from the kind of madness of YALC. And speaking of YALC, I have started packing. So I last year brought like 20 books with me, and it was pretty hellish trying to get them all home. So this year, because I've been to YALC a couple of times now, and I've been to a fair few events in the UK, like author events and stuff, I feel like I don't have a ton of books that I want to get signed, which is great. So I have narrowed my list down to 5, and I think that this is going to be a particularly spectacular list of books. So I have these 5 here. I've got All the Bad Apples by Moira Fowley-Doyle, which I've already talked about. I have The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman. I think I read this in April or May. Really, really enjoyed it. I thought I would like it. I ended up loving it. It was like the perfect book that I needed at the time. I am bringing Other Words for Smoke by Sarah Maria Griffin. I've heard great things about this, but I've not read it yet. Another really weird book. And I've got Viper by Bex Hogan. This is a debut YA, UK YA fantasy, and UK YA does not often get fantasy. Most of our fantasy is imported from the US, so the fact that this is a UK book is really, really exciting, and Bex is like the nicest person on the face of the planet, so I'm really excited to meet her. And last of all, I have The Sharp Edge of a Snowflake by Siv Sigmostadir. I met her last year at a like pre-YALC event. She wasn't attending last year. She is attending this year, and it's going to be her first year, and I can't wait to read this. I think I had this on my most anticipated releases of May and June video. This came out the end of June. I haven't read it yet. Typical, but I would really, really like to. It looks great. It's like a YA Icelandic thriller, like crime thriller. Looks awesome. And at YALC, one of the publishers, Hotkey Books, kind of has this like book swap shelf, so you can put books onto the shelf that you don't want anymore and you can take stuff off. It's just kind of like a little exchange thing. So I have a huge stack of books that I'm going to shove into my suitcase and put onto that shelf. So to start off, I'm not going to go into what these are all about and everything. I have The Hand, the Eye, and the Heart by Zoe Marriott. I have a proof copy of Zenith by Sasha Ellsberg and Lindsay Cummings, and Sasha's going to be there, so hopefully someone will pick this up and get it signed. That would be pretty cool. I have Proud, this is an anthology. I have Half Bad and The Smoke Thieves by Sally Green. I have Whiteout by Gabriel Dillon. Some of these came unsolicited, some of these I bought myself. They're just kind of things that I don't think I've read any of these. They're just things that I know I'm not going to get to and I was going to unhaul anyway, so someone at YALC is more likely to enjoy this than, say, someone at my town's random charity shop. This next one is The Truth and Lies of Ella Black by Emily Barr, super shiny cover. Then I have Marassi, and this is by Maria Turchanioff. I have Charlotte Says by Alex Bell. Patron Saints of Nothing by Randy Ribbe. This is one that I think someone else will definitely enjoy. This is going to be a really powerful book for another reader, but it's contemporary and it just doesn't sound like it's going to be one that I will love as much as someone else will. And I've got Music and Malice in Hurricane Town by Alex Bell as well. And the last one that I have is The Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. This is one I would actually like to read at some point, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. I will buy a finished copy. This came unsolicited. Those are the books that I'm going to bring for the book swap at YALC, and I still have this giant stack of unhaul books that's sitting right in front of me. So if I have some more room, I might pull a couple more things off of there, but I think that's most of my YA stuff that I have to unhaul. Otherwise, I am currently charging up my spare battery packs. I've got a couple of my dresses that I know I'm going to wear over the weekend packed. I've got my hand fan packed because it is going to be sweltering, especially on Friday. I think it's going to rain on Saturday. And I am pretty much ready to go. I have work tomorrow. And tomorrow's my last night home before I go to YALC, so I'm going to finish up packing tomorrow. The cats are trying to break out of this room. Stop it! Come on! I'm doing important things here. Come on. So I'm going to finish packing tomorrow and get myself sorted for Thursday when I'm going to head into London. So I think it is bedtime now. I have spent the entire evening editing videos. I posted my most recent reading vlog, which is not my best reading vlog. I forgot how to vlog and it's not very interesting. Hopefully this one's a little bit better. I edited and am going to schedule another video, and I have some more stuff to do before I leave on Thursday. So it's bedtime. It's getting a little bit late and I have work in the morning. So Dax has first of all been kind of stealing the spotlight for these vlogs, but she's also been like hiding in the spare room a lot because it gets really sunny in here, which is great until she decides that it's too sunny, and then she'll like curl up underneath my desk and hide from the sun. So this is a room of much confusion for Dax. She's really either loving the sun or hating it. I don't know why she just doesn't hang out with us in the air conditioning, but that's alright. You do your thing, Daxy girl. She's also been trying to climb in my suitcase a lot. I've like packed up my YALC bag. It's all done. Super pleased. And the cats keep trying to like break into it, which is great, but also not the most helpful thing in the world. Happy Wednesday! So it is Wednesday, it is officially the night before I leave for YALC because I am going to be heading into London tomorrow after work. I am all packed, as I think I might have just shown you, and I am kind of like at that point, you know, before you go on like a big holiday or before you have an exciting event like this, you feel sometimes kind of like you've done everything and now you're just waiting and waiting and nothing that you do is going to pass the time any faster, so you get kind of like twitchy. Maybe this is just me, but I'm definitely in that mode. I am like, I've been useless this evening, mostly because I'm just like kind of waiting until I can go to bed, because when I go to sleep I basically time travel and it will be Thursday and I will get to go to London. So I've been useless this evening, but I did pack. I've got almost everything ready to go. I just have some stuff for tomorrow. So like my contact lenses I haven't packed, and my deodorant and my toothbrush. So those all get shoved in my bag last minute. I'm looking at my bag right now and I've got plenty of room, which I'm really happy about, and a lot of the books that I'm bringing with, as I showed you in a different entry, are going on the Hotkey Books book swap shelf. So I'm actually, a lot of the books that I'm bringing with me I'm getting rid of, so I'm going to be making lots of room. I'm being strategic this year, and I'm really pleased because last year, I have to ask Scottish husband how many books I brought home, but it was like, I think it was the same suitcase, which is like a medium-sized one, plus like a duffel bag, I think 2 duffel bags, and my backpack in his backpack. And I think he might have hated me just a little bit last year because he had to help me bring them home because he did come for one of the days of YALC. And I am trying to avoid that because I am going to be traveling to and from by myself. He is coming, but he's going back a day early. And yeah, so I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for myself. I feel like every year I learn something new about YALC and like how to prepare and everything. So hopefully this year will be great. I am really excited about, like, all of the publishers keep announcing new stuff again and again, like throughout the day. So we've learned that there's going to be Infinity Sun arcs that are going to be there, and they're doing like 100 copies a day. I'm hoping to get my hands on one of those. I don't know, we'll see. And there's like just a ton of stuff like that that's happening. I think particularly excited for the Illumicrate stand because they are selling off past items and books from previous boxes, plus they're selling their June and July boxes. And I really like Illumicrate. I really like the quality of the items, and I really like the fact that they don't kind of stick to a few fandoms like Fairy Loot does. And I like Fairy Loot, but I have so much Sarah J Maas crap in my house that I don't want and I don't need. So I've kind of made the switch over to Illumicrate a little bit more depending on what the theme is, but I'm not subscribed to either of them. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the panels. I'm looking forward to going and seeing what the publishers are selling. I'm going to try to get some footage for you guys if I remember, but I might get caught up in all of my own excitement, so we'll see how that goes. But in terms of what I'm going to be reading, I'm still 11 pages into Jade War, and I've decided I'm actually not going to bring it with me. And the reason for that is because it's a 600-page book, and just the fewer books I can bring with me, the better. So I am bringing my Kindle instead. I got my, like, very childish, silly, cute Kindle cover. And I was actually, I think I said the other day, I had been approved for some really exciting NetGalley arcs, and I couldn't remember what one of them was. And that was The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Why did I not remember that? I don't know what's wrong with me because I'm super excited for that book. I really enjoy her writing and I really like her. And this is her first adult book. It's not YA and already it's like, whoa. So I am going to read that. That's definitely going to last me through YALC, and I have a ton of other stuff on my Kindle too if I do finish it, although I doubt I will. And I think it's going to be really good. I have read, let's see, the first 5%, I think. It's like a 480-page book. So I've read the first 5%, and I dozed off on the sofa because, again, useless. And I had some really weird dreams, so I would not recommend falling asleep immediately after reading The Ninth House because it's real weird, but it's really good so far. It's basically this girl, it's really jumbled at the moment because I'm so like close to the beginning, but it's this girl who is attending Yale, and she's part of this, she's been like recruited to the secret society in which they practice some really messed up magic. There's a lot of body horror that goes into this, and there's like ghosts, and it's really creepy, and I'm really liking it so far. I think that it might be one of those books that's not for everyone, but I think that you guys are probably going to really enjoy this. I think that a lot of you who follow me and chat with me on this channel have very similar tastes to me, which is why you follow this channel. So I think this is going to be one that a lot of people will enjoy, but if you're expecting something like the kind of Grishaverse fantasy, then this is not the thing that you're expecting. So I'm going to do the thing that I just said to not do, which is read a little bit more of The Ninth House before I go to bed, and I'm gonna get myself all like ready to go and everything, and I'm just going to do what Dax is next to me and just pass out and wait for tomorrow because I'm super excited. Can you tell that I'm super excited? I don't think I've said that enough.
Sophie, I missed you. Hello, Dax. Looks like you missed me a little bit less than Sophie did. That's about right, though. The cats basically slept on my head last night when I got back from YALC. Not hugely late, but kind of late. Look how much Dax has shed all over the floor in the time that I've been away. Good God, you guys. So forgive the messy room, but like, I'm gonna have to sort through all of my YALC stuff. I can't believe I brought all of this home on a train. A bus to a train, to another train, to a bus. No wonder I'm so tired this morning.
So it's Monday now. It's the day after YALC. I look so tired. I am exhausted. It was a really good weekend, but as happens after every single YALC, I am just wiped. My whole body hurts. It actually doesn't hurt as much as previous years. I feel like maybe I've like prepared better. I always try to like go walking and whatnot before I actually get to YALC because you spend so much time on your feet. It's really easy to just get completely worn out if you're not sort of like building yourself up beforehand. But I had a really good week. I swear I did. I'm just so tired. So I'm not going to show you all of the stuff that I got in this vlog. I'm actually going to, when I like get my energy back, I'm going to do a YALC haul. I spent some time down in Comic-Con as well, and I got some stuff there, so I will like just show all of that. But I do have some highlights. The first being that I got 4 of my 5 books that I brought with me signed, starting with Thursday night, which is the night before YALC. I went to the Penguin Summer Party, which was really, really great. I did show up very late. Thursday was like sweltering. It was so hot. It was like breathing in a sponge. It was awful. So I showed up very sweaty and very exhausted, and I missed a lot of the author talks, including Moira's, but I did manage to get to chat with her afterwards, and she signed my book and she liked my dress and everything. It was really nice. I got to tell her how much I really, really loved this, and I read this earlier this week. I'm pretty sure I vlogged that. I have no memory of anything that happened before Thursday. And so that was really great, and I got a bunch of books from Penguin at that event. A lot of them were contemporary, which aren't really, you know, my thing. But there are a couple that I am very interested in. And then at YALC on Friday is kind of like my shopping day. It's the day that I run around and get all of the stuff and do all of the things. It's kind of the day that everyone's still got their enthusiasm because everyone's like not exhausted. So I ran around, I bought a ton of books. I got some stuff off of the book swap shelf because, as I showed you earlier, I split the books that I brought with me to put on that shelf into 3, and I put some on the shelf each day, and I took some away each day. So I got a bunch of those, which I'll show you in the haul. My giant stack of YALC stuff is just off screen. And so I entered lots of giveaways because they were doing giveaways for like, they were raffling stuff off and doing lucky dips and stuff like that, which was really nice. There were a couple of publishers, or a couple of stands, shall we say, that broke the rules of the no first come first serve, and then they got reamed out apparently, and by Sunday everything was raffle, which was really good, because I hate the first come first serve thing, because we got locked out of YALC actually on Friday. It was just so, YALC is so poorly organized, and it's actually becoming a huge problem. It's kind of outgrown its original, what it was originally. It's just, it used to be like a corner of Comic-Con, and now it's a whole floor, and it's a huge fucking mess in terms of like being organized and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people have complained in the past and are going to complain this year because they did things like lock people in the stairwell and stuff like that. But in terms of Friday, they weren't letting people in, so we missed all of the first come first serve stuff, despite the fact that we showed up like 45 minutes early, which sucked. But it was still a good day. I didn't win a single raffle, but I entered a lot of raffles, and there were lots of like photo challenges and stuff. So if you did, you know, you take a photo of this thing or in this pose and you do a hashtag and you tweet at the publisher, then you could win stuff. And I won a few of those, which I'll show you in that haul, but I have something that I won on Sunday, which I'll show you in a minute. But that was a really, really good day. That's definitely the most enthusiastic day, and it's the day that all the publishers have stock of stuff, so that's the day I go around and buy all the stuff that I really want. My backpack is always really heavy that day, and so that was really good. I really enjoyed that. Saturday is the crazy day, and that's the day that Scottish Husband came with, and that was a little bit more of like trying to recover from Friday, hanging out with people, doing a lot of the same thing in terms of like entering raffles and stuff. We went down to Comic-Con, which was really, really fun. I really enjoyed that. And it was a little bit more of a chilled out day, despite the fact that it's absolute madness, because that's the day that most people show up. And I got one of my books signed on Saturday. That was The Sharp Edge of a Snowflake, and Civ is like the best person in the world. She's awesome. So I got to chat with her a little bit, and I got my book signed by her. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I'm seeing a lot of people posting reviews of it now over the past week or so, because I think it was in a lot of people's YALC TBRs. So I am really looking forward to reading this. Then Sunday was kind of like, Sunday's definitely the most chilled out day, because everyone's exhausted, and it usually closes a little bit early, but I think it closed at like 6 this year as opposed to like 3. So it was a day of kind of going around and picking up all the stuff, like all the loose ends and things that you hadn't picked up previously, again entering more raffles and stuff like that, and really hanging out with friends. So over the whole weekend I spent a lot of time with my friends Asha and Judith, who are the ones who stayed with me at my sister's flat, and they're magnificent book bloggers, and I'll link their blogs down below if you're interested. But I also got to spend a lot of time with Amber from Books of Amber and her boyfriend Quill, particularly on Sunday, and Amber's one of my favorite people, and we met once, and it was at like an event thing, so we didn't really get to chat much. So this was the first time we properly hung out, and it was awesome. It was really, really great. And I had a blast, especially with the two of them. So I'll link Amber's channel down below. She's a booktuber. And it was just, I feel like Sunday, although we were all really delirious by the end of it, like really delirious, it was a really good day, because that was the day where we got to like hang out and sort of make sure that you got to see all the people that you wanted to see, sort of chat a lot. We got to chat with a lot of the publicists. So Jamie, who's the publicist from Quirk, who's a magnificent human being, we got to hang out with a little bit at her stand, and we got to meet Nausea from Orbit, who was there on Sunday, who I've chatted with a lot, but I've not actually met in real life before. And yeah, it was a really good chilled out day. I also got 2 of my books signed. So I got Viper by Bex Hogan signed, and she is amazing. She's lovely and wonderful, and I really, really love chatting with her. I can't wait to read this, by the way. This is, I think, high on my like list of post-YALC books to read. And then I also got The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman signed, and she was lovely as well. It was her first time in the UK, and she had landed the day before, so hopefully she gets a chance to like travel around a little bit. But I really loved this book. I think I read this in April or May, something like that. But I really liked this. I liked it a lot more than I expected. I was expecting to enjoy it. I wasn't expecting to love it, and I really loved it. There were some photo challenges and things like that that you could win, and I did win a couple of books, but I also won Mr. Kindly from Nevernight. It was my favorite. So they had this big cutout of him from the Dark Dawn cover, and it's, I mean, if you get the chance, I'll maybe post a picture of him on Instagram or something, but like, I love the UK covers so much because they're super intricate. All of them are like this. So the first one, which is somewhere nearby, but I can't quite see it, has the crow on it, and it's got similar sort of line drawings, and the second one has the wolf on it, and then Mr. Kindly's on the third one. Hi Dax. The cats are like surrounding me. I was like not forgiven when I came home because Sophia was glaring at me, and then she slept on my head, and Dax kept like running over and stomping on my face all night, and they like will not leave my side today. It's a little bit ridiculous. So I really enjoyed YALC. I swear I did. I'm just really tired. It was great, and it always is. I really enjoy it, despite a lot of the issues with the people who actually run it, and sort of the accessibility and whatnot, and some of the publishers not paying attention to the rules. It's a really great experience to meet other book bloggers and booktubers, and it's a really amazing experience to meet other readers, I should say. And I did actually get to meet some of you guys, which was really awesome. I know that I've said it a million times, but just the fact that people watch this and watch me yell about cats in books is completely baffling, and it just was probably the best thing ever. That was probably my favorite part, is just like people saying hello. It was so nice. I'm so tired and I'm like gonna get emotional again. I'm just gonna burst into tears on camera. So I'm gonna try to avoid that, but it was really great. So thank you guys so much. In terms of other book stuff that doesn't have to do with YALC, I did get some book posts while I was away. The first being Blood of an Exile, and this is by Brian Nasland. This is from Tor, and I think this is a debut. It's the first book in the Dragons of Terra series, and I believe that this book follows a nobleman who, I think accidentally or intentionally, I'm not sure, kills another nobleman, and he's sentenced to become a dragon slayer. And it sounds really interesting, and I really like different takes on dragons. I don't necessarily love the, hyper intelligent, Aragon type dragons. I find them super boring, super boring. I like the kind of Last Namsara or Game of Thrones type dragons, and it seems like this is going to fall into that latter category, so I'm really excited for this. This looks really great. I'm not sure when it comes out. I had a press release that came with it, but I just can never keep track of those things. But this looks really good. I think it comes out this fall. And bless the lovely publicist at Hotterscape for dealing with my slightly overly dramatic request email. So I had thought at YALC, as I think I say in the beginning of this vlog maybe, so Hotterscape does a, buy 2 books, get a free proof type thing off of their stand, which is how I got Girls of Paper and Fire last year, and some other things. And so they were doing The Beautiful and Girls of Storm and Shadow, and I thought they were doing To Be Taught a Fortunate by Becky Chambers, and it turns out they weren't. It was going to be, you had to do a whole thing and like find all these stickers that were hidden around, and then you would enter in to win. And I was so sad. I was so like overly emotional. Overly emotional seems to be a theme for everything that I talk about today. So I emailed Hotterscape and was like, listen, she's like the author of my heart. I love her so much. She's amazing and she's my favorite. I would love, if you have any copies kicking around of To Be Taught a Fortunate, I would love to be sent one. And they sent me one! So this showed up on Thursday after I had already left, and I made Scottish husband bring it with me, or bring it with him, I should say, to YALC for Friday night. And I'm really excited for this. It's a novella. It's not part of her Wayfarer series, and it looks wonderful. It looks really wonderful. I am going to go ahead and put this on my Newts TBR for August, because there is a prompt to read a book under 300 pages, and this is like 130 pages. So this fits that perfectly, but like, I'm just so happy. In terms of what I'm actually reading right now, I have been going back and forth so much this week. I read a little bit of Jade War and didn't stick with it. I read a little bit of To Be Taught a Fortunate while I was YALC exhausted, and that just didn't happen. Like, the words were swimming around on the page. And I read a little bit of Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. And I haven't quite been able to settle on anything until I decided to pick up The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, which I got on NetGalley, and I've actually stuck with that one. I'm in this kind of like, I think I'm in not the pre-reading slump phase, where I can't decide what I want to read, because that does happen. I think I'm in the panic about how many books I have to read phase, and when that happens I just can't read anything. I can't stick with anything, but I am sticking with The Ninth House, which I am enjoying. I'm not loving it, but I am really liking it. I think sometimes you can get a kind of sense of how you're going to feel about a book before you finish it, and I usually can kind of get a sense of like, if it continues on in this way, it'll get X stars for rating. It'll probably be a 4-star. I am enjoying it. I'm waiting for things to kind of pick up a little bit. There's a lot of info dumping because it's a really it's not a hugely complicated magic system. There's a lot of things like, ghosts and different kinds of magic that these different kinds of societies have, and so it's not hugely complicated. My one complaint about it so far is that I've never been to Yale. I didn't go to Yale, certainly. I've never been to Yale. I've been to New Haven, but I've never been to Yale. And you know how there's an ambulance going by. You know how sometimes in books, if an author is really familiar with the setting when it's a real place, sometimes, and I feel like this happens with New York books and Los Angeles books, which I love because I've lived in New York and Los Angeles and I know them really well. I really love them because I know them really well, but sometimes if you are someone who's reading it who's never, say, been to these places, to the place where it's set, it can go over your head a little bit. And I feel like that's sort of what's happening here. I feel like she's not assuming you have knowledge, but the way that it's written, all these names are going over my head. I don't know what these places look like. She talks about these kind of like, you know, these like plazas and squares and stuff on campus, but she's not describing what they look like because they're named and they're actual places. And I don't know what these places look like. I've never been there before. So I feel like in a way she's slacking a little bit on the actual setting, which makes it hard for me to really form what this place looks like in my head. And it is easier because it is a real place and I could just go and look it up. But I do wish that she had done a better job of that. Let's just say that. So I am liking it. I'm about 25% in and I'm definitely going to stick with it. But I'm very, very curious to see how it goes. And I'm very curious to see sort of where the story's gonna go, because it's sort of, we know that something terrible has happened and now we flashed forward and presumably we're gonna go and build up to what happened when characters in the situation at the beginning of the book. You know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. I'm just talking. And so we'll see. I'm curious. I'm liking it. I'm not loving it. But I didn't really know what to expect from this book anyway because it is an adult book. Very, very much an adult book. There's a lot of gore in it. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I'll report back on that eventually. I'm actually not going to do a reading vlog for most of this coming week because the newts will start on, I think, Thursday maybe, and I am going to try to vlog for the entire month, ow, my leg is asleep, the entire month of July as I do my newts. So I'm going to take a break until that starts, but hopefully at the beginning of the newts vlog I'll be able to check in with you guys on what I thought of the ninth house, and if I do finish it this month I will put it in my my wrap-up thingy that I'm due every month. So this has been completely and totally scattered. I'm trying to remember how to be human again, you guys. I am not all 100% there in my head right now. So I think what I'm gonna do is clean up the books that I have surrounding me. I am going to probably have a nap. That sounds really great. And I'm going to try to, again, learn what it means to be human once more, for I have forgotten. For YALC has been very long and very tiring. But I hope you enjoyed this probably somewhat messy reading vlog. I don't know, I haven't even looked at any of the footage that I have yet. I don't think I vlogged anything from YALC because I was so just distracted and just not, you know, thinking about vlogging, which is, I guess, a good sign that I enjoyed the event if I'm not like sitting there thinking about how much I need to vlog. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be back to normal soon, I totally swear. But I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you went to YALC, if you ended up going for one day or the whole weekend, what you got, what you didn't get, everything like that. And I would love to hear if you've read any of these books that I talk about. I'm sure I talk about books in my previous entries. Just let me know how your reading week was. I will be back again with another reading vlog. It'll be a shorter one next week. You'll be able to see that. It'll be the start of the newts. I hope you enjoyed this, and I post bookish content to this channel fairly frequently, so go ahead and hit subscribe, check back soon, and I will see you next time.